Good afternoon, Westwood, and welcome to Flay High Field for opening night for your Westwood Boys Soccer, taking on crosstown rival, the Norwood Mustangs, joined as always by Evan Cardamino on camera and microphone tonight. Morgan Donahue here, folks, and we are delighted to bring Westwood Media Center coverage of your Westwood Boys Soccer, and Evan could not have asked for a more beautiful night.
We had a great week to start off the opening week here at Westwood High School, and another great night, a great temperature, not too hot, not too cold, just about right where you want it to be. But yeah, excited for Westwood home opener against rival Norwood. This should be a good game. Just taking a look at last year. Last year, Westwood swept the series between Norwood, beating them both times, one time live on Westwood Media Center.
Yep.
And off to a hard start. Westwood 3-2 win over Holliston in Holliston. So looking to continue to build some momentum with a good win here against another rival in Norwood.
Absolutely. It was a big win on Tuesday. They got off to a hot start, 3-0. They kind of let Holliston back in the game, and I know Coach wasn't too pleased with just, staying sharp, but, hey, it's great that you can learn something from a win and then take it into a night like tonight. And, home game for the Wolverines. We just did a couple of interviews. It was a little bit of a media day yesterday, so I got to talk to the captains and also, the new head coach, Josh Mitchell, and he could not be more excited and ecstatic about what he has with this Westwood Boys Soccer team. We're looking at 16 seniors, and 10 of them are starting. And, there's also depth on top of that at all positions. And it's a team that is certainly talented. They're large, too. We're talking about, you look at the midfield, all these guys are like 6 feet and above. And when you're doing corner kicks and you're battling for possessions, that size means everything. A team that's not afraid to hold their ground too when it comes to possessions, maximizing that, and getting some goals out there, especially when it matters the most. So, very excited to see this team for the first time today, and a great opportunity. TVL Large game. You already 1-0 in the TVL Large. That's your first goal. Is you want to be TVL Large champs, and here's a big opportunity to go 2-0.
Welcome to Flay High Field, everyone. Today we have a game between the Norwood Mustangs and the Westwood Wolverines.
We're now going to do the starting lineup for the Norwood Mustangs. A freshman, number 0, John Campbell. Number 18, a junior, Samuel Lockard. Senior, number 17, Langston Coyle. Senior, number 15, Lucian Gale. Senior, number 20, James Galvin. Sophomore, number 10, Tiago Silva. Senior, number 5, Yash Shah. Junior, number 1, Anthony Parise. Junior, number 8, Helio Genda Silvia. Lastly, a senior and captain, number 11, Brody Pacheco. Senior and captain, number 16, John Lynch. Coaching the Norwood Mustangs is Matthew Warren.
And now for your Westwood Wolverines. Senior goalkeeper, number 99, Ansh Sataraju. Sophomore, number 19, George Stamatakos. Senior, number 5, Ethan Butner. Senior, number 3, Harry Hayes. Senior, number 4, Sam Mang. Senior, number 8, Owen Rezick. Senior, number 17, Jack Tadioshin. Senior, number 14, Leo Chalangwa. Senior captain, number 7, Trevor Ferreira. Senior captain, number 9, Avik Sataraju. Senior captain, number 10, Alexei Mikalakos. Westwood Wolverines are coached by Josh Mitchell.
Officials for tonight's game are John Lyons and Mike Gula.
And thank you to our ball boys, Charlie Cochran. So we're having some technical difficulties with the national anthem. Go Wolverines!
All right, folks. We are about ready to get underway here at Flayhigh Field. And we are ready for a great one. So starting lineups for your Westwood Wolverine, or we'll start off with Norwood. So starting lineups for the visiting Norwood Mustangs. We have goalkeeper John Campbell, center back Samuel Lockard, center back Langston Coyle, left back Lucian Gale, right back James Galvin, and the center mid Hilo Ganda da Silva, center mid Anthony Parise, also center mid Evan Martin, and then Brody Pacheco, John Lynch, and Tiago Silva. And the starting lineups for your Westwood Wolverines, we got 10, similar to Holliston, 10 seniors in the starting lineup. So we got Sam Cochran, Owen Rezick, Jack Tadioshin, Leo Chalangwa. Oh, nope, those are the seniors. I messed that one up. So there we go. Let's put that one on the board. Avik Sataraju, Lexi Mikalakos, Sam Meng starting on defense, Harry Hayes, Trevor Ferreira, Leo Chalangwa, Ethan Butner, and then starting in goal, Ansh Sataraju. So we are about ready here. Westwood already ready in position. Looks like they're going to get the starting tap. Norwood having a quick last-minute huddle. And you couldn't ask for a better night for soccer. This is pitch perfect for a crosstown rival. 20 years ago, never really thought that Norwood would ever leave the Bay State Conference, the Bay State League. But now it's become a great rival for Westwood in every sport, and it makes for just an additional rival. Holliston was always one, Medfield was always one, and then to add, and when those ones are rivals, they're further away. When you got one where it's down the street, you got friends in the next town over, even family over there, it's always a fun game. The Wolverines able to get the possession, send it down, and Norwood able to earn it back. Ball goes out of bounds on the far sideline. Going to be a Westwood ball.
Morgan, you mentioned the weather here too early on. I also want to point attention to something called in the Holliston game the other day. The away goalie right now is going to have to deal with the sun setting on Flay High Field. Meanwhile, Sataraju for Westwood has that shade from that natural shade, so it's going to be an advantage for Westwood here early on. And I can imagine they're going to want to look to capitalize early here, and maybe get a goal while that sun's in the goalie's eyes.
He's got his hand up too to help out. So I mean, it's clearly an impact right now. A Norwood throw. That's chipped up ahead. That was Harry Hayes, called his name a bunch last year. And one of the questions I had for head coach Josh Mitchell was, he lost all his starting defenders, but he was not worried. And when he started rifling off all his starters this year, I'm like, my goodness, we called all of their names, and they were playing a bunch last year, and they were starting some games here and there, or they're playing a lot of minutes off the bench. These are proven guys on defense, and these are terrific athletes as well, who were so instrumental in those 7 shutouts last year that the Wolverines had, which was an incredible accomplishment. We're going to try and take it up the far side, but that window closed down by Ethan Butner. So Ethan Butner wasn't a name we really called much of last year, Evan, and on this team and already making a big presence. He factored in the scoring on Tuesday, and a guy that is very impressive so far. Sataraju chasing after a loose ball, and that was saved by John Campbell, Norwood goaltender. He's going to boot it.
One of the benefits for this Westwood team, too, is their experience. I was looking at the roster today, courtesy of Westwood Living Sports, and, I noticed the majority of the roster were seniors. I think we only have 6 non-senior players, 4 juniors, 2 sophomores. So this is a big advantage for Westwood. This is an experienced team. Even if they didn't get much playing time on varsity like Butner, they have 3 years of JV experience. They've been playing, and this is their moment. This is their time, and that's going to be a big factor in a lot of these games. This is a very well-experienced team, and a team that I think is ready to take that next step. And, that's also an advantage when you're a senior. You have that experience, but you also have that size.
They certainly do, and for a while last year, they were inside the power rankings. They were inside the top 10, and a couple late games that got away pushed them to the 16 seed. Ball inside, that's loose, headed out by a Norwood defender, shot by Westwood, saved by the goaltender. What a save there by John Campbell. Got a piece of that one. I think that was Ferreira with the shot. That was had eyes for the back of the net. He was looking right in the inside pole, and great save by the Norwood goaltender. We got Tom Lydon here, folks. Tom, how we doing?
What's up, everybody? Beautiful day. It's great to be with you guys. Hopefully we can get some goals here.
Absolutely. I'm going to bring the good luck. This is about as picturesque as you can ask for a game day. And right off the bat, we got our first corner. And this was a big-time strength for the Wolverines last year. You got Captain Lexi Mikalakos, who's got a booming kick. He's going to get it in the box. It's just sometimes there's too much power. And this is a perfect one. Head on it, and it goes through the uprights. Going to be a goal kick, but a great look there by the Wolverines.
Hey, we saw that's how the girls' team won the game the other day.
Yeah.
A beautiful assist from the corner, and then Olivia Shea heading it in, and that turned out to be the only goal of the game.
Yes. It's funny because growing up, as a kid, everyone wanted to have that header goal. I mean, that's what the pros are doing. So you wanted to, get the goal and do the celly. And seeing a lot more of it, especially at the high school level, because they're terrific athletes, able to go up and get it, where at the youth level, we're all the same height, and no one's really jumping through the roof. And then when you get to high school, these kids are turning into terrific athletes.
Speaking of which, Leo, it's great to see him back out there. I know he battled through the injury, and that's so hard for any athlete to overcome all those mental challenges that come with rehabbing. But to see him back out here, that's one of those athletes you're talking about. He can get up.
He is a key piece because we only saw him in one regular season game and also the playoff game. He did score a goal in that Dedham game, but big body, big frame, He is a terrific athlete too, and when you add that to the mix, especially for all the momentum they had built from last year, like what a high upside you have on the outside with him there. So the ball on the far sideline, Norwood with a throw. Westwood doing a good job holding down the perimeter. They're going to try on the near side. There's Chalangwa. Makes a nice play to settle the ball. Keeps it in bounds. Tries to go by the Norwood defender. Ricochets, but Ferreira comes away with it. Ferreira looking upfield. Chips it. He's got Sataraju, who's trying to run to the loose ball, and John Campbell comes out, gets a hand on it. But I like the look so far. Wolverines know they got some speed. Put it out in open space, chase after it, and see what comes from it. Loose ball chipped in Westwood territory. Nice play there. Kicked away by Harry Hayes. Ends up going all the way to the goaltender. Took a couple big bounces.
Morgan, we just loaded all of the rosters onto WestwoodLivingSports.com. So if you're looking for a roster for any of these varsity teams, that's the place to go. And what I got a real kick out of with this soccer roster is that there's no messing around with the numbers. They literally fill every number from 1 to 21.
Well, Tom, I learned the hard way was those numbers were just basically orders, so it wasn't their numerical numbering.
Oh,
so
come on,
because that's what I had to do. I had to fold this page because the numbers are actually these ones right here.
Well,
we'll make an update
tonight.
But what a
I was going to say,
1
to 21.
I know. It looked like like a BC hockey roster. I used to go to the games. It'd be literally 1 through 22. They didn't allow any numbers in the 40s or anything.
Well, we will have that corrected by bedtime tonight for sure.
So Tom, we are looking at a team that's got 16 seniors. We got 10 starters that are seniors. And we got a look here by Norwood. Well defended there by Westwood. Great play by Ethan Butner. Able to catch up to the Norwood player and get a foot on it. Now Westwood going the other way. Got some open space on the far side. Stamatakos. One of the names we called the other night was Vanetta Stamatakos, freshman defender for the Wolverines. What a player she is. And just as impressive is her big brother, George Stamatakos, only a sophomore. So 2 underclassmen that are big-time difference makers in Westwood boys and girls soccer.
And they're spending a lot of time at home.
Yes, practicing.
Here we go.
Chalangwa with the look. Oh! Just wide left, but what a look there and a good low boot. I love the placement of that, nice and low, where that would have been a hard one for the goalie to get to. He didn't even try diving just because he knew he wouldn't have been able to get there, but good look early here. Only 8 minutes into the game. Yeah, I had a sister who was a hockey player, and it got a little competitive when we had the outdoor rink.
I would imagine.
Yeah, we had some. But then we would join forces during pond hockey classics, and they had the mixed teams. So we had some of her UVM teammates. I brought some of Westwood teammates and prep school teammates, and we were a formidable foe.
Should be. You know each other's strengths and weaknesses. You know exactly where to put that puck on the stick.
Absolutely. Ball goes out of bounds. I'm going to say that was out on Westwood, so must have caught a piece of the Westwood player. I'm going to be a Norwood throw. Some good, strong defense on the far end. Like that was Michael Ajamal. That was a look.
Man, they are so close on so
Yeah,
many of these.
Just missing the corners.
A lot of pressure on the goalie.
Yeah.
Pressure on the defense. It changes your mentality, obviously, when you're the team that has a lot of shots being shot against you.
Yep. These guys can score from all over. Last year, Trevor Ferrer, we saw a bunch of goals from at the 20 or outside, just picking corners. He did one last year on the live game versus Norwood. And that goes out of bounds off the Norwood player. Goes off the foot of number 10 for Norwood. Tiago Silva. Throw in by Westwood. Owen Rezick, pride of the maze. There's a Chalangwa in a tight window, making some nifty moves, going across the field. Sends it to senior captain Lexi Mikalakos. Back to Chalangwa. Chalangwa using that body, that big frame to possess the ball nicely. Norwood able to come away with it, and they're looking to move the ball. into Westwood territory. Chipping it up on the near side. Some space there. Sataraju comes out, gets a hand on it. Did a good job there. It looked like A.J. Alex, where A.J. Alex was always on top of, the anticipation when he would see those looks and get out there and make sure he get the hands on it.
There's that
Brother
moment.
Avik Sataraju on the far end. We got a whistle, and it's going to be a infraction on Avik Sataraju and a Norwood kick.
Going back to Anshu, it's that moment where you need to make the decision. You have to make
Yes.
that commitment.
Yeah.
Am I going to go get this or
Yeah.
not?
Yes.
Am I going to try to save it off of his foot, or am I going to beat him to the spot? And in that case, he beat him to the spot.
Which is so key for goalies. It's not just being the physical abilities, but you got to be making good decisions under pressure. Ferreira gets a head on it, able to get the possession, still settling it. He's so good with being able to do difficult things like that, settling a ball that's bouncing, and you got a couple defenders on you. Chalangwa can look towards the middle of the field, sends it far side.
Right through the sun, tough to see.
Yeah, especially on the Norwood goaltender. It's definitely a difference maker. You see he's putting the hand up every now and then. Norwood on the far side. Butner with a great defensive play. So, Tom, I understand that Butner was not part of the varsity program last year. I think he was playing club. Now part of the varsity team this year, and already have a great impact. Had a goal in the first game, and we've seen him already tonight, like terrific, closing windows down on the defensive end.
It's been great to see most of these teams coming out with a win in their first match, meet, or game, and that is not an easy thing to do. Particularly, a lot of
On
them
the
played
road.
Holliston,
Yeah.
right? So a rivalry game right out of the chute.
So you were at the Holliston Westwood Holliston volleyball game last night. How does Holliston rank in terms of TVL large volleyball? And was that a good win last night for Westwood girls volleyball?
No question.
Yeah.
I mean, more than anything else, eliminate Holliston from the equation.
Yeah.
You have a team on the volleyball. You have a volleyball team that has basically one starter returning. So
Yeah.
there's a whole bunch of people who are getting opportunity that they've never had before at this level. So there was a short bench in the first match. Only 7 people played.
Yeah.
But it was a matter of those 7 get some good experience. And we talked about this earlier this afternoon, that J.C. Whalen just has the magic touch when it comes to timeouts. And she
Yeah.
called one of those magical timeouts yesterday and turned the tide of the whole match, because after she spoke with the team, they rolled off 10 of the next 11 points
Yeah.
to take the first set and never really looked back.
Rezik's got some speed. Looking for Sataraju. He's looking to go around the defensive player. He does. Keeps it inbounds. Defensive player from Norwood able to get back in the play, and it's a nice play to kick that out. Loose ball. And then another thing you mentioned too is J.C. Whalen, Tom, is a shot on net by Nikolakos and a save by Campbell. J.C. Whalen is also good at when not to call the timeout,
Let them go.
which is
Let
key.
them go. Give them some room to breathe and figure it out themselves.
But one thing we mentioned on the season preview for girls volleyball is I looked back, and when you look at the seniors who are studs, like these are big time players. When it comes to like Janari, Sano, Holmesy and Risha, Greeley.
I mean, basically the whole team.
They weren't on varsity as freshmen. Holmesy might have been, but Sano wasn't, and she wasn't on JV. She was on the freshman team. So it just shows you that, great development. They have a great freshman team, JV team, and someone on this team now can be the next Sano. Someone on the team can be the next, Janari, and it's incredible testament to the program.
Well, what I've enjoyed getting back to the soccer team here is that one of the things that we have really focused on as we've launched WestwoodLivingSports.com is doing previews for every team.
Yes.
And the preview for the boys soccer team, if you have not visited and read it, you should, because it really sets the stage for what Josh is looking to achieve as a first-year head coach, how he's utilizing the talent that he has inherited, and you had mentioned some new pieces that are back in the mix now, and the confidence right out of the chute. These guys feel like they're TVL favorites.
Yeah.
And they can absolutely make a run not only for a league title, but make some noise in the state tournament. And that's great to enter any season with that confidence. So, I'm flipping through it a couple days ago, reading that preview, and I'm saying, all right, I'm looking forward to watching these guys play.
Yeah, what a move there by Ferreira. Creates some space, a shot from the outside, just wide left. He cut through about 3 defenders just to be able to get a great look. He had a nice screen there, too. Not afraid to shoot it, was looking for that top left corner, just missed. probably Westwood's third great look so far here in the first half.
And it's always a fun time of year because you have that group of seniors. You remember that feeling, that burst of energy and adrenaline that you get as a senior, knowing that this is
Yeah.
your year, this is your time to shine. And yet at the same time, you've got to bring along all the people who are younger than you are, because without them, the team won't succeed. So
Yeah.
how are you helping those underclassmen develop? What are you doing to put them in a position that they can perform mentally and physically? And you've seen it so far from the Wolverines in most of all the sports. Even the field hockey team, which didn't get a win, finished tied yesterday with a great defensive effort. And I think a lot of that credit goes to the Holliston goalie in that field hockey game because she stopped 20 shots.
Yeah.
The field hockey team shot 20 times against Holliston. And that goalie just stood on her head.
And Moira Keneally was timely. So even though Westwood didn't see many opportunities, there were the few that they saw were big ones, and Keneally kept it out of the net. I understand Abby Presley had a big stop too on the defensive side. So we got a good look here. Lexi Mikolakos, who we said earlier, has got a booming kick. He might be looking for one of the top corners or allow a guy like Leo Chalangwa to go up and get it. And he's going to talk about it with Ferreira. And this is always interesting to defend because which guy's going to kick it? You don't know. It's going to be Mikolakos with the look. Oh, good bend to it. Forces a save, which is going to end up being a corner kick. So a great save by John Campbell. Nice bend on that kick.
I mean, so far, Campbell has been the player of this game.
He has.
Really.
Remember him last year, too. He was the goaltender last year and good athlete. So now the second corner for the Wolverines. The first one was a good one. Mikolakos right back at it. A whistle on the field. They're going to redo it. Some good practice there because that was a nice one.
That's where the sun's coming into play again, both for the defensive and offensive players and the goaltender.
This is where the eye black won't hurt you if you got it on, even if it's for the first half. Mikolakos. A little too much power on that one, but chipped inside, and another save by Campbell. I think that was a set play where they went a little long there, knowing they could get the possession and then either get a shot or just move that ball inside. And you got those big frames, big bodies there that can put that in the back of the net. So Westwood already getting some substitutions in. That's Michael Ajamal on the far right side defense. Coach Josh Mitchell had some fantastic feedback about him, said he put in a lot of work over the summer and really loved what he saw. He coached him last year on the JV team, along with Zach Byrne, and those are two guys that he saw huge strides that they made and was just very impressed with the work they put in and excited about what they're going to be able to contribute to this year's team.
We referenced the seniors a couple minutes ago, but then you balance that with the excitement of a kid who does work so hard over the offseason, and then it pays off when he makes the varsity squad.
Yeah.
And I remember, because I'm obviously close with Rick and the Byrne family, they were so thrilled that Zach made the cut this year and made the varsity team.
It takes a little pressure off the goals, the top players to have to score every game when you got all this depth. And that's a block shot out of bounds. Going to be another corner for Westwood.
Great.
So Avik Sadaraju there with a good look on a nice pass from Chalangwa. And Westwood now going to get another look on the corner with Mikolakos kicking. And we're going to get some substitutes here. Coming in for the Wolverines, looks like Jacob Daly. Jacob Daly coming in, as well as Owen McGuire. Getting a breather for the Wolverines is Stamatakos and Owen Rezick. Corner just gets over the head of Wolverines and the Mustang players, but Westwood able to jump on the possession. Ooh, a little nutmeg there. But Norwood had the layered defense to kick that out. That was always the thing to do when you were a kid. You wanted a nutmeg, and everyone goes, oh, anytime you do that. That was a nice play. Pass going outside. That's Jacob Daly. He had very timely goals last year. Had the game winner versus Holliston, and week 1. And he's a guy that is not afraid to score some big goals for the Wolverines. When you do that, you have some balanced scoring. That is a really good sign if you're head coach Josh Mitchell. So throw on the far side. Chipped inside and then saved by Campbell.
Just got to keep banging away.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to come eventually.
Mika Lako's got a foot on that, and I like the creativity there, a little change of direction. You have to do that in soccer. You know, really to get some good looks, you got to change that direction quick. Sadaraju played that one. That's kicked out of bounds. Westwood going to have the throw here on the near side.
You know, big kudos to both you and Evan. Really enjoyed the season preview. Thank you for getting that out of the Wolverine Report. If you haven't watched it, you should. And of course, Evan and Melinda and Charlotte deserve a ton of credit and acknowledgement for the time and effort that they put into the production of these games. And we, of course, will be driving traffic to that YouTube page throughout the year. So you want to bookmark it and set up your notifications so that every time that there's a new broadcast that's made available, it shows up right on your phone and you can start watching it and sharing it with your friends.
Absolutely. Already some great views on the girls' soccer win the other night. We know the fans are excited to keep up with obviously the families are, but the fans and the alumni excited to see the games, see their teams.
What you're seeing is that the more you hear the names, the more you see the people, the more familiar you become with them, the more interested you are in them, the more invested you are in them. So suddenly there's more interest in, it's like, hey, you know what, I am going to watch that game because I want to see what Leo did today, or I want to see what Alessia did today. People you may not even know personally, you know because they become characters in the story, and that's really the point.
At the end of the day, they're your neighbors, they're your townspeople, they're people you see in Roach Brothers, you know, and how do you not want to root for, your fellow residents here in Westwood? We're a small, humble town.
Yeah, you're over at Islington Pizza, you're picking up a slice, you're like, hey, I saw that goal against Norwood.
Oh, yeah.
That's a thrill for any kid.
Saying to Joe Vinci, I go, nothing that makes us more proud than someone that knows what it's like to sit in 109 traffic, and he's on the big stage.
Speaking of which, I had to go across town to Strasser to drop something off.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit of traffic coming back across.
You need a helicopter this time of day to really get there quick.
But I was in the middle of dropping off raffle prizes to people who left the party last Thursday a bit early, including yourself, might I add.
Well,
Evan, Mr. Lucky over here,
won
3 raffle prizes. Like, boom, boom, boom. I have no idea how many tickets you bought, but it was the best investment you made in the month of August.
Oh, big time. My ROI on that, however, I was deceived by thinking I was very lucky, so I went and bought about $100 worth of scratch tickets and a goose egg. So I guess it was like Cinderella. My chariot turned into a pumpkin at midnight that night because the next day the luck was not still with me.
Well, I brought for you your free Christmas tree at the Bean Farm, and also a $600 gift certificate to Barcino. God bless, man. Enjoy that dinner.
Well, you know what? That comes full circle. I use that word a lot, especially on the podcast, full circle. But I was a food runner in the Newport Harbor Corporation when I was in college. And I worked at a couple of the different restaurants. I started at the Mooring, which is a nice one right on the water in Newport. And then I went over to Narragansett and was at a restaurant called Trio. They've since rebranded. So, to see that Newport Restaurant Group logo brings back some fun memories from 15 years ago.
That was a bag filled with tickets, as you might expect. So when I pulled out your name, I couldn't have been more thrilled because I know how much time and energy. No, I wasn't embarrassed at all because I know how much time and energy and effort you put into supporting this community. So it was almost like a very well-deserved raffle prize. And then I pulled the next one and you got the tree too. And then I pulled the next one, you got the Oktoberfest tickets too. It's like, oh my gosh, this guy is having the best day of his life.
So we have a fake tree, I guess. I don't know what the right word is that we use at my parents' house. This year, it is going to be a bean farm tree.
There you go.
And it's going to be smelling nice, and I love that smell. Get the pine and everything. You cannot replicate that. So I am very excited. I'm lined up for a great year, and we got a whistle, which will allow us. We're going to take our first break here. We'll be right back after a quick message from Arch Orthodontics.
Nothing in sports happens without commitment. You have to commit to prepare. You have to commit to compete. And when the game is on the line, you have to commit to making a decision and trust your preparation. The same is true when it comes to orthodontics. When you commit to improving your smile, you're making a commitment to a better life. Your mouth is the front door to your health. And who doesn't love showing off a beautiful smile when you're celebrating with friends and teammates? Arch Orthodontics is committed to you and being part of creating an even better you. When you're ready to commit, you know who to call.
Westwood High School Sports, brought to you by Arch Orthodontics, creating generations of beautiful smiles with expert orthodontic care. And Neroli Ristorante, authentically Italian.
Welcome back, folks. Thank you, Arch Orthodontics.
Yeah, second year in a row that Drew Chase and his team at Arch has stepped up to support our broadcast here. We're also thrilled to be welcoming Neroli as a presenting partner this year. And Evan just forwarded to me for First Eyes On Mike DeSaro and Neroli's ad. And the good news is I forwarded it to Mike, and he's like, wow, that's sweet. So good work by Evan with the production, and of course you'll be seeing that throughout the month of October. And big thanks to both of those companies who have invested a lot in this community and want to support your kids and everybody who works so hard in the Westwood High School athletic program. So thanks to Arch, thanks to Neroli, thanks to Drew, and thanks to Mike DeSaro. We are indebted to you for your commitment to what we do here each and every month.
And, you know, I'll say one thing, too. The editing that Neroli one, just for me, was one of the more fun ones I've edited in a while. You know, I really – sometimes I'll have a video come across my desk that I'll work on, and I'll get really into it. That was definitely one of those ones where it might have pulled a little overtime on that one, actually. So
Evan used the drone footage. There's
okay.
drone footage in this commercial. So
That is next level.
sparing no expense.
That is next level stuff.
And listen, it's an opportunity for us to, first of all, set up Trevor for a shot on net.
That's a big boot. Oh, just wide left.
Hoping that might be a goal.
Those
But
are nice skippers.
if you are a business owner out there who wants to support what we're doing, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
And it really is probably the most pure investment in community for you to support what's going on with the local community access media station and the support of our kids and our coaches and the administrators who put so much time in. These are the memories that the kids will talk about 10, 20 years from now. Trust me, Morgan won't stop talking about that 2003 and 2004
Neither
state
does Mike.
championships. And we celebrated that last year, the 20th anniversary of the second championship. And I'll bet you wish that you had archived some broadcasts of those games, right? And that's what we've been able to do over the course of the last 10, 20 years. And the girls are coming back.
And it's kind of becoming a new fun tradition where you can tell if the team, a Westwood team coming in, won or not, you know, and they are victoriously celebrating. They were up 4-0 at the half. I'll have to get a confirmation on the score, but Westwood girls 2-0 already on the season, and that is a team, Tom, to keep an eye on. We watched them yesterday, and as talented as the team was last year, they have taken it up a gear. They have so much talent, you know, of girls that got better from last year. But you added 4 freshmen that are not going to be sitting on that bench. These are 4 freshmen that are very involved in the game. Oh, Chalangua had a good look there, but well defended by Norwood, able to get enough of a piece of that. Actually, it looked like it went out on Chalangua, but Norwood played a good job closing that window down.
So, Morgan, final score of the Norwood game, 7-1 win for the Wolverines.
7-1. Hello.
Wow. So we will have to get an update on that because Izzy Hansen was tied with Lil Hancock as the all-time points leader
Gotta
in
think
girls
she
soccer.
was included in those 7 in some way, shape, or form.
I'd have to think that it was a few at least. And I'd also have to, the bat signal, like when they're looking for Batman.
Yeah.
I think we got to get the Marsh milestone moment
yeah.
signal out
There it
because
is.
that is certainly one that we're going to have to keep an eye out for. Centering attempt and a save by Sataraju. Great job by Sataraju getting the hands on that, but also that was great defense by, it looked like, Butner closing that window down, forcing an outside shot that was very manageable save.
I think the goal was still in the sun the last time that Ansh made a save. That
Yeah.
shows you how well this defense has been playing and how much pressure the Westwood offense has been putting on Norwood's defense.
So, Tom, you are now a father to a senior, and the senior is your youngest. So what's the emotions now of being a dad to a senior and an empty nester in a year?
Oh, boy.
Uh-oh. Look by Norwood. Chipped inside. Gets through. No call. It was a nice clean play by the Wolverines and doing a good job. Good defense. Crisis averted there. They're going to try the other side. Westwood playing solid defense there. They were caught off guard a little bit there, but good job making sure that that inside pass was not playable.
So to address your question,
Yeah.
interesting emotions. I've been very fortunate and blessed, and I give congratulations to both girls that they were both captains of their teams as seniors. And I think as a parent, you watch them in that position, and it becomes more than just how they are performing on the court.
Yeah.
Because a large part of how they're contributing to the program is how they're leading the program.
Yeah.
And it was kind of cool, though, that when Liv made a play yesterday, you heard the chant that said, "That's our captain." I was like, oh, that's cool, because you've heard it over the years, and it's been directed at somebody else. And when it's directed towards your daughter for the first time, it's
really
like, oh,
cool.
that gives you the chills.
And one of my favorite things is when we're calling the games and you guys in between breaks making eye contact, and you don't even have to say words, you just know how to communicate to each other, and it's like, yes, keep it up, keep it going, you know. I love that stuff. And it looks like we're going to have another break, so we're going to take another quick break here. We'll be right back in a couple minutes.
Nothing in sports happens without commitment. You have to commit to prepare. You have to commit to compete. And when the game is on the line, you have to commit to making a decision and trust your preparation. The same is true when it comes to orthodontics. When you commit to improving your smile, you're making a commitment to a better life. Your mouth is the front door to your health. And who doesn't love showing off a beautiful smile when you're celebrating with friends and teammates? Arch Orthodontics is committed to you and being part of creating an even better you. When you're ready to commit, you know who to call.
Westwood High School Sports, brought to you by Arch Orthodontics, creating generations of beautiful smiles with expert orthodontic care. And Neroli Ristorante, authentically Italian.
Welcome back, folks, and we got the camera on a victorious Westwood girls soccer team that is making their way over here to cheer on their Westwood Boys Soccer, and going to return the favor of what Westwood Boys did the other night. They came here after their win, and really cool to see.
So it's 0-0, 11:25 to go here in the first half. And when you think about what Westwood High School sports achieved in 24-25, it was impressive. A lot of very talented athletes, many of whom went on to play at the next level, a lot of lacrosse, a lot of field hockey. We have football player, cross-country runners, people who are going to represent us well at the next level. And I have kind of higher hopes for 25-26. I truly believe that this group across the board not only is talented, but has picked up some confidence and some inspiration from what they experienced last year, and now it's their turn to drive the bus. And there's high hopes not just for this fall season, but I'm already thinking ahead to the winter season and looking at who's coming back and saying, you know what, this could be a special year for the green and white.
Yeah, I mean, I talked with Coach Josh Mitchell yesterday, and I said, well, you got Sam Cochran on your team. This is a guy that is part of a lacrosse team that beat Longmeadow in Longmeadow, who's a defending state champion from last year. They beat Marshfield in Marshfield, who was the defending runner-up from last year, which is a funny thing to say, defending runner-up. But they did it, in 100-degree heat. And to have that experience and that leadership on this team is an advantage. And there's going to be other teams. There's football players. There's hockey players who are all part of that team that can take that leadership with them where they go, of being calm under pressure, not letting the lights be too bright when it comes to those big games.
And we are absolutely thrilled just to share with you, in case you haven't heard or don't know, obviously many of these games will be shared across Westwood Media Center's YouTube station, but Morgan and I and our team at Westwood Living Sports, it's our intention to have a recap of every meet, match, or game as soon as possible on our website. So if you don't have it bookmarked yet, you should certainly do so. We, of course, as I mentioned before, have all the rosters of all the teams. We have season previews. We're going to be featuring players throughout the year. Of course, Morgan's now infamous pregame and postgame interviews through Westwood Calls. It's been a great partnership so far, and I truly believe I don't like to settle for mediocrity. I know you don't either, and it's our goal to be the most comprehensive media platform covering a single-town sports scene in America. That's not hyperbolic. I mean, that is our goal. We want to set the stage across the country. So that comes with cooperation from the coaches and the administration, and of course the players. We've gotten a lot of players contributing with their recaps from Patty Dalton and the golf to who
Henrik
wrote
Laguerre today.
Henrik did a great job with the cross-country recap. So in that way, we're kind of helping to educate the kids too on how to write and how to recap what happened in a game. And it's neat to see it reflected when you look and ask for some assistance for people to then, help you out and be part of what we're delivering. We've got Talia Reese who's writing for us. We've got Owen Ziegler who's taking pictures for us. So the team continues to grow. And if you've got somebody in your family who you think may want to work with us, learn from us, and help contribute to what we're doing for the community, have them reach out. We're very easy to find, and we would love to provide some tutelage and have them be a part of our team because we've got a lot of work to do.
So it's funny, I was at the scrimmage last week for football, and I ran into some the 8th grade football players. And they said, "Are you going to come to our game and do our game?" I said, "Why not?" And if you heard some of the names, Tom, it's funny. There's a Martucci. There is an O'Malley on that team. There's a Donahue, Ronan Donahue. There's a Pindell on that team.
Oh, gosh.
It's like
it just
the next
doesn't
wave.
end, does it, right?
No. Nice kick there on the corner. Hit it back of the net. Trevor Ferreira gets the head on the corner. That was kicked by Mikalakos and puts Westwood on the board 1-0.
They have been just chipping away and chipping away and chipping away, and you knew sooner or later they were going to break through, and that just shows Trevor got himself great position on that, was able to get to the apex, jump high, get his head on it,
goal
and
scored
finish it
by
up.
number 7, Trevor Ferreira.
I love to see Dad Miguel
Assisted
Ferreira
by Alexi
announcing the goal of
Mikalakos.
Trevor.
Second goal of the season for Trevor Ferreira.
Trevor is the type of player who could get 20 goals this season, and do what Aaron Gannon did last year with 17.
We should just point out that Miguel handled that so smoothly. He's
Oh,
down there watching with the rest of the parents, but as soon as the ball hits the back of the net, bam, he hops up, he comes inside the booth, the mic is live, and the announcement is made.
Well, he learned from Rory Alex, who was, unbelievable. Rory was the best, and we miss him. So, Rory, if you're listening, come on up for a game. We'll throw the headset on you, just because AJ is now, over, I think, at Colby College.
Yep.
Doesn't mean, don't come to game. We want to see you here, big dog.
To that end, tomorrow, your game that you're going to be covering with the volleyball team, also against Norwood. Brendan Reeves will be making his PA debut. And, you've heard a lot from Jay Risha on the mic. I've done a couple of games, but I'm going to be in Michigan tomorrow, and Jay is unavailable. So it was without hesitation. I asked Brendan yesterday, I was like, how do you feel about doing the PA? Yep. I didn't even get it out.
Not even hesitate.
So he's ready. He goes,
next man up. It's not just the athletes, Tom. It's it's the parents, the community.
And of course, what's the biggest challenge for any announcer in Westwood?
Pronunciations.
Yes, Kamal Ratana Pibun. That is it. That is the number one challenge. But we are on the case. Kamal Ratana Pibun.
Narintra, Kamal Ratana Pibun.
You got it.
Boom.
And her brother, Norwood, who's one of the captains of the football team. Here's how I suggest to anybody, this is what Morgan and I talked about today. It's just like you get used to saying 3 names, like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, right?
Yes.
It's Kamal Ratana Pibun. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Kamal Ratana Pibun.
Now, what was one of the more difficult ones you've had in your professional career? Was it TJ Hushmansada? He was with the Lions for a bit, right? That's a booming kick over the net.
No, you're thinking Azakim, perhaps. Hushmanzada never made his way to Detroit.
Oh, okay. He was Cincinnati, I think, for a bit.
He was with Cincinnati. I'm trying to think of some of the ones that were long. I'll think.
Yeah.
They'll pop in. I remember Pio Sagapulatelli, who used to play for the Patriots back in the late 90s. He was on the Super Bowl 31 team. That was one of my favorite names. And, of course, the Tuiasosopo family.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
Right? Manu was the original with the Seattle Seahawks, and then, of course, he had a son, Marcus, who played quarterback, so he was a little bit more high profile.
Yeah, they were talented.
And then there was the running back who went to UCLA of all schools and decided that he was going to change his name to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah.
I remember the coach saying, "Wait, what? You realize you're at UCLA, right?"
Yeah. Oh, good look there. A couple one-touch passes between Wolverine forwards. Looks like Jacob Daly out there. Also Owen McGuire. So the bench out there getting some good reps here late in the first half.
So just over 6 minutes on the clock with Westwood on top 1-0. Don't know how much injury time there might be here. Stoppage time in the first half.
Corner for the Wolverines. Another good kick. It gets inside the box and squirts through. Hayes battling for it. That's a big part of the soccer, those 50-50 battles. And then Norwood has a step, but closing the door is Sam Cochran. Great anticipation there. He saw it, jumped on it, and then kicked that ball out of Westwood territory. Ended up ricocheting back in, and Wolverines right back to work, trying to work downhill. Get a couple more looks before the end of this first half. 5 minutes, 36 and counting.
So who was it who we think probably broke the record today?
Izzy Hansen.
We got to get Izzy up in the booth.
I think we do.
Let's go.
Yes.
We need Miguel on the microphone to say paging Izzy.
Yes, I think
Please
we
join
got.
the
Yes. Well, Tom, you got a recognizable voice.
Should I just do it?
Well, we got the halftime coming
We
up,
need
so
Izzy Hansen in the press box,
we
please.
can walk down at the halftime and confirm. And
If the all-time leading scorer didn't get either an assist or a goal when
Yeah.
you put up 7, that's
Yeah.
probably one of the most stunning statistics I would have ever heard.
well, it's kind of like Jack Roycroft had the opportunity when they were up big versus I think Medway, and he did the right thing. He was just got it, passed it to someone else. He wanted it to be memorable. And I interviewed him later, and he said, you know what, it was more just about how humble he is. He's like, that doesn't mean, I just want to get the win. And I'm like, what a precedent he set as a leader of team first.
Another crazy stat too last year, Caroline Nozzolillo, she was on a watch for a game here for her 250th career
Yeah,
goal. She was at
another
243. She scored 6 goals.
Yeah.
And was at 249.
Yeah.
We ended up not being able to cover that game because we had town meeting the next week.
Nice little tap there by McGuire, was able to chip it to himself.
Evan, that's one of those games, like, you're not prepared for the milestone, because who would ever think that she'd score 7 in a game, right? It's 243, you're like, well, good, it's going to happen in 2 games.
Right.
Which it did, but, you were probably nervous.
Towards the around 3 or 4, I was like, this might happen, and I was really paying more and more attention to it. And just, towards the end, they started kind of, letting up a bit on the scoring, and, Nozzolillo just got right at 249, so, and still got that 250 milestone moment pretty early on in the game against Norwood the following week, but, we were kind of hoping, too, we'd see it on Westwood Media Center.
I know. Just to have the call,
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough when we're not on the call for these milestones.
There's another decision by Anj there, right? Are you going to stay back, or are you going to be aggressive and try to go get the ball? That's twice he's made the right call.
So I talked to twin brother Avik, and he said this is the first time that they've been on the field together since middle school. Because you had
Makes sense.
You had AJ Alex before him, Don Varnerin, who was a great goalie, before AJ. So I mean, it was tough to kind of get ahead of those guys to get earned playing time. So it's his net, and Coach Josh Mitchell has the utmost confidence in Anj. And he said that he's been getting some great coaching from Billy Mee, who's been around the program for many, many years. Billy's sons coached in hockey in the middle 2000 teens, and some great players. But it's funny when you hear some of these names, and you're like, oh my goodness, is this the same person I'm thinking about? And they confirm it's those moments where it comes full circle, where you're in this community and people love sticking around coaching, and the kids love it too, where you got a lot to learn from some of these great coaches that we have in town.
I, like many others, knew Anj and Avik. How? Because of their cookies.
So that was something that was recommended to us after the Jaden's Dough.
Yeah, you should do another taste test.
We gotta go do a taste test with the Sadaraju brothers.
I met them through. They're born on the exact same day as my daughter. So Livy and the twins were born on February 22nd, 08.
Oh, pass inside. It looks like Castro with the pass.
So they've got that connection, and it was Liv who I think 3 years ago said, "Hey, you should do a story on these two guys because they make these allergy-free cookies."
Yeah.
And next thing I knew, I saw one of them cruising into Camellas. I was like, "Oh wow, you're selling them here, huh?"
Yeah.
So I mean, they've done
That's
a really
awesome.
great job.
Love to see that. Love to highlight it too. So if you have a business, or you have something fun that you do as a hobby, let us know. We will love to cover it.
That's a pretty pass.
Castro on the cross. Just misses Stamatakos. Stamatakos, some good hustle there, chasing it down. Tadeusian, he was a guy that Josh Mitchell had highlighted, saying he is this year's Matt Preedy. He's that guy that's going to be playing, on the offensive side, defensive side, and really set that tone in the middle of the field. And that's a very anticipatory position. Remember how last year, Evan, Matt Brady would jump in on those plays, and he was not afraid to get physical.
No,
He would dive, and it was kind of like how he played basketball too. So that is a whistle. We're going to get a quick break here. We're going to hear from our sponsors again, and we'll be right back.
Nothing in sports happens without commitment. You have to commit to prepare. You have to commit to compete. And when the game is on the line, you have to commit to making a decision and trust your preparation. The same is true when it comes to orthodontics. When you commit to improving your smile, you're making a commitment to a better life. Your mouth is the front door to your health. And who doesn't love showing off a beautiful smile when you're celebrating with friends and teammates? Arch Orthodontics is committed to you and being part of creating an even better you. When you're ready to commit, you know who to call.
Westwood High School Sports brought to you by Arch Orthodontics, creating generations of beautiful smiles with expert orthodontic care. And Norwood Ristorante, authentically Italian.
Welcome back, folks. A timeout called by one of the teams, which kind of a smart move, to get this is a vulnerable last couple minutes in the first half. You want to make sure you got some fresh legs. You got your guys out there. The last thing you want to do is give up a goal going into the half. As we mentioned, Evan, you have all half to think about that. A really positive feeling if you're the team that scores it. A really, really overwhelming feeling if you're the team that gave it up.
Especially in soccer too. In soccer you can have 1-0 games and that could be the final score. We saw that case in point Tuesday. So letting up another goal at the halftime for soccer in and of itself just has a little more weight.
That's a attempt on the outside by Tadeusz. That's going to go wide. It'll be a goal kick for Norwood. So stoppage time right now, it's 2 minutes. They stop it at 2 minutes in the first half or on the ref's whistle, and then in the second half it stopped at 5 minutes and on the ref's whistle as well. So we don't know. It's always the big mystery. Could be a couple minutes, could be 30 seconds.
That's the beauty of soccer.
It is. And it's funny because you see them, they let it play out sometimes. If they see a player running,
sure.
they'll let them get a look.
It's not necessarily the clock itself as it is the development of the current play.
Yes.
We'll let this play develop and see what happens.
Ooh,
right to the
Ferreira or Tadeusz, unfazed by, took a kick or the ball to the face and then got a shot off. And we got a whistle. Is that going to be the end of the first half? It is. So that was a very entertaining first half. Westwood with some great looks on offense, some very timely defense. The Wolverines up 1-0 on the Norwood Mustangs. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back at the start of the second half.
Nothing in sports happens without commitment. You have to commit to prepare. You have to commit to compete. And when the game is on the line, you have to commit to making a decision and trust your preparation. The same is true when it comes to orthodontics. When you commit to improving your smile, you're making a commitment to a better life. Your mouth is the front door to your health. And who doesn't love showing off a beautiful smile when you're celebrating with friends and teammates? Arch Orthodontics is committed to you and being part of creating an even better you. When you're ready to commit, you know who to call.
Westwood High School Sports brought to you by Arch Orthodontics, creating generations of beautiful smiles with expert orthodontic care. And Norwood Ristorante, authentically Italian.
Welcome back, folks. We're ready to kick off the second half. Westwood had the touch in the first. Now Norwood is going to have the touch in the second, right on the official's whistle.
Did you get confirmation?
Yes, we got confirmation, folks. Izzy Hansen, the all-time points leader in girls soccer history.
Way to go,
32,
Iz.
with an assist today and Wolverines' 7-1 win. It's actually kind of funny. I was asking about the final score, and they said, well, Norwood got one at the end. We didn't know we had 10 players on the field.
Oh, jeez. Bodes well.
Yeah.
Good job. by the girls. Well, listen, boys, I have to take advantage of this unbelievable situation this weekend.
Yes.
I'm a BC alum.
Yeah.
The Eagles are going to Michigan State to play Saturday. Obviously, my daughter is there, so we are hopping on a plane bright and early tomorrow morning to go out to East Lansing.
Incredible.
I'll be wearing the maroon and gold in Spartan Stadium.
Wow. So I was going to ask the dynamic. Are you going to be Dad of the Year, or are you going to be alum of the year?
Well, no, I'll be maroon and gold. But that being said, I'm checking out. I want to thank you for letting me join you for the
This is a blast.
good part of the first half. I look forward to doing many more games throughout this year. And one last reminder to everybody, go visit westwoodlivingsports.com. We've got you covered, and thank you so much for all your support. And we'll talk to you, Morgan, and you, Evan, later.
Absolutely. Thanks, Tom. As always, the Wolverines already with the ball deep in Norwood's territory. A little crossing pass. Stamatakos with the shot gets blocked. Ball gets deflected outside. Cochran gonna settle it. Tadeusian on the cross. That gets deflected. Sam Cochran throwing the body around right there. Like it's lacrosse season. Love to see that. Ball goes off of Stamatakos. It's going to be a Norwood throw. So the Wolverines up 1-0 off a header by Ferreira about halfway through the first half. Did a good job of closing out the first half with some good defense. Norwood had a really good look on one of the plays, but Westwood bend don't break defense, able to adjust, keep that ball out of the net.
And it's really funny, too, some of the parallels we've seen between both the boys and girls soccer teams. You know, a first half goal off of a header from a corner kick, coming home from big wins, cheering loudly on the bus. You know, it's a great way to start the season, though, for both teams. You know, looking to get that early momentum, which is what both teams have done here quickly. I know Westwood's looking to get some more and get some goals and, you know, keep that pressure on. One of the things they've done really good in the first half is that most of the game was played on Norwood's half of the field and at Norwood and attacking the goalie. And, you know, we talk a lot about opportunities, and you have to make those opportunities in soccer, get those opportunities for goals, and Westwood's done a really good job today of creating those opportunities.
They have. Really hard to do in soccer. You know, these TBL teams, they do a good job of taking away space. So you got to really do a lot of misdirection and some, you know, quick passes and use some athleticism to get things going.
Another thing I like about Westwood's play today so far, too, is their ball placement. They're having a lot of great high kicks that are landing just about right where you want them. You know, a couple have gotten away from them, but, you know, you get your player in stride, you're not kicking it off sides, and they're moving, and they have that momentum while they're running, and they can get good speed. So it's a good thing to see with their offense. That's the big thing, you know, can you create those opportunities through that? And their passing today has been spectacular.
Stamatakos with a nifty move there. Stops the ball on a dime. We're going to send it back to Setaraju. Norwood player closed in pretty quickly. Setaraju got rid of that just in time. He's over to Ferreira. Ferreira moving around with the ball. He could have 2-3 players on him. Doesn't matter. He can pick up the pace. He can make a couple moves, change angles. Sends it over to Chalengwa. Chalengwa working it inside. Has Rezic. Rezic makes a move. Has some space, shot, gets blocked, then ball hits a hand, and we got a whistle. There's an injured player on the field, which is going to bring out a trainer. Looks like a Norwood player. We're going to get a look. We'll take a quick break here with the trainer on the field, and we'll be right back in a few.
Nothing in sports happens without commitment. You have to commit to prepare. You have to commit to compete. And when the game is on the line, you have to commit to making a decision and trust your preparation. The same is true when it comes to orthodontics. When you commit to improving your smile, you're making a commitment to a better life. Your mouth is the front door to your health. And who doesn't love showing off a beautiful smile when you're celebrating with friends and teammates? Arch Orthodontics is committed to you and being part of creating an even better you. When you're ready to commit, you know who to call.
Westwood High School Sports, brought to you by Arch Orthodontics, creating generations of beautiful smiles with expert orthodontic care. And Neroli Ristorante, authentically Italian.
Welcome back, folks. Norwood player was able to walk off the field, which is great to see. And very helpful trainer for Westwood helping that player off. Evan, be remiss not to say, Paul Lilla, we're thinking about you, bud. Tremendous friend, person, colleague here in the town of Westwood, and we're all thinking about him and his recovery. And he's a fighter. He's been fighting the last few weeks, and back home now, getting a little bit more recovery, which is great. It's a lot easier sleeping at home than being not being home. So, but Paul, we're thinking about you, bud, and looking forward to seeing you soon. You are the catalyst of Westwood sports. When I think of Westwood sports, Evan, I think of Paul Lilla. And his always being positive, smile on his face, dry sense of humor. Wolverine's trying to get a look in there, and it's always a fun day when you see Paul Lilla.
Yep, it sure is. We've done a lot of these games over the past couple of years now, and I know you went to high school here as well. He's a staple here. He's someone who, every time I come to a game, I see him and says hello, and you mentioned that dry humor is very funny. Yeah, we're thinking about you. We're wishing you all the best, Paul, and we hope to see you here as soon as you're able to come back, and we're excited for that day. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Battle going on here on the near side. Stamatakos able to get the possession for the Wolverines, then goes out of bounds off his foot. So last year's game was a close game, a 1-0 win for the Wolverines. You know what you're getting against Norwood. It's a team that brings it. It's a team that, and like we said, every sport for Norwood's pretty solid, except lacrosse. I think not really up to the other teams, but hockey, basketball. Girls field hockey went to the state championship last year. I think their soccer is, is developing. Yeah. But hockey, girls hockey is always very, very solid too. And we got Shannon Gillis on our staff, so it's great, that we get, some of Norwood's finest helping out our Wolverines.
Yeah. And, the thing, too, is it's that crosstown rivalry. It's the Westwood-Norwood. It's that town line rivalry. There's a little more to it. It is a newer rivalry when we talk about the Westwood rivalries, but there's something different about it. You see it with Norwood, and it's a different sort of air. There's that – a lot of these kids grew up playing with each other, grew up playing sports, grew up just knowing each other. You might have family in Norwood when you live in Westwood. So, there's a little more to it than your Hopkintons, your Hollistons, your Medfields. It's that proximity. It's almost like a border battle, So for each of these teams, it's whenever they see each other, it's one of those games they want. Yeah. Westwood really wants it. And, Norwood wants it too.
A lot of crossover when it comes to, like, club teams, family. I mean, my dad grew up in Norwood, Norwood high grad, Norwood athlete. Pass inside, looking for Stamatakos. Norwood defender. Stamatakos able to keep the possession. Still in the box. Oh, does a little side kick, just goes wide right. But a great look there. Did not give up on the play. It could have easily gone out of bounds. He kept it in. And then kept that ball. And anytime that ball is in that high-scoring area, you have opportunity to get something done. And he got another look there and missed just to the right of the net.
And those are the plays you want if you're Westwood. The corner kick opportunities to get goals are nice. And, hey, we're never going to, determine I don't want any goals. We want as many goals as we can score. Get them wherever you can get them. But at the same time, you want to see those really good opportunities, those really good shots from the outside, those really good opportunities where you get the goal, you trick them out and you get them on the other side. So, it's good to see those opportunities starting to become more and more, there for Westwood. We want to keep seeing good passing and good setups for good plays. It's a sign of a good team.
Absolutely. That's a big kick by Ferreira. Kicks it about 40 across the field. That goes out of bounds.
Jack, easy.
Tadiosian Sends it over to Hayes. They're going to work on the outside. Chalangua.
And you know what also is really enjoyable about these Westwood Norwood games is because of the proximity, you get a good mix in the fans. You get a little bit of that away crowd and that home crowd, which is kind of nice. I like seeing these packed play-high field environments.
Definitely. I mean, definitely noticed the last couple of games, a really good crowd.
Yeah.
Supporting the Westwood boys and girls soccer. We're going to get a throw-in near side around the 5-yard line for Norwood. That's a good one. That was a Luke McCabe type throw. And then Cochran jumping in on the play. He's got a head of steam. It kicks. Looks like he hit Owen Rezick. Owen Rezick shakes it off. A little friendly fire there. We got a whistle on the field and an injured Norwood player.
He gets up on his own power, actually, so
Yeah. Good to
he
see.
will stay in the game. It might have been an infraction, actually, on Westwood there as well, because they're moving the ball back from where it was, so perhaps he was tripped or something.
Yeah. And these guys have the power to really boot that into kind of the box area where anything can happen.
Yeah, you can set up a play even if you're at the 50-yard line here. These guys have a good boot, and you're gonna see it right here. He's gonna put it right in the
Remember last year? Oh. Goal scored by Norwood from the outside at the 50. Looked like it might have been a misdirection on the ball. I don't know if it was a knuckler or if it just caught a piece of someone, but finds the back of the net. We are tied here at 1.
You know, you got to give credit to Norwood there. That was, you heard, I think, a little bit of our stunned silence there, because that was from 53 yards and almost a risk there from the Norwood goalie too. So, I mean, you got to give credit where it's due. That was
it was a good kick.
A good kick, and
I think it wasn't a straight kick. There was definitely some movement on it, whether it caught a piece of someone or whether it was a knuckler. It found its way in the back of the net. We're tied up, but hey, nothing you can do here. Westwood looking to get the next one. 1-1 game, 29 minutes remaining here. The second half.
And this is a great early season test now for Westwood. Okay, so game 1 against Holliston, they had a 3-0 lead entering the final 5 minutes of the game and let up 2 goals. Still got out of there with the win, but the big thing now for Westwood is okay, now we're tied up and now we're fighting for something here as we have a whistle. Not sure what was called.
I think Chalangua was a little quick on that one. He wanted him to, set. He was trying to catch them off guard.
Yeah.
He threw that pretty quickly. Wolverines going to get some fresh legs on the field. I see Jacob Daly. Also see number 2, Owen McGuire. Those two have provided a spark when they found their way in here.
But, now for Westwood, okay, now you're in crunch time. Now you're fighting for a win, and Norwood's coming out and getting more aggressive here, and they're playing with a little more speed. And we're going to have...
Now, is this a corner? We don't know. It's a corner. So, yeah. And great job there by McGuire. He was battling for possession to get the corner. So, good look here now for the Wolverines. You got Stamatakos going to take the corner. Wolverines setting up for position in front of the net. A lower flighted kick. We got a foot on it and a save. Looks like Butner. Another shot. Save again. Loose. And then picked up by Norwood goaltender John Campbell. 2 in a row. But Butner, the defender, able to get a boot on the first one. And I can see why now how he factored into a goal in the first game. He was right up in there and got a nice look.
Westwood's starting to play a little more aggressive here now, too. They're starting to kind of pick up the pace. You see Westwood's starting to get good opportunities just out there.
Daly's saying that it caught a piece of Norwood. The official is saying no, it's going to be a goal kick. Those are 2 good looks off that corner. That is why the game is tied 1-1, is because of Norwood goaltender John Campbell.
Yeah, you got to give him credit to him. He's had a great game today so far, and he's really, had the majority of the shots taken on net on him. And he's handled just about everything that's been thrown his way. You know, aside from the header off the corner kick, he's been lights out. It's been a great game for him. So, you know, Westwood's going to have find the opportunity here against a great goaltender like Campbell.
Got Jacob Daly out there. He's scored a couple big ones when it's been tied late. Keep an eye on him. Norwood sending it on the near side, trying to send a player. Butner tracking that down, and does a good job of making sure that it goes out of bounds. Looks like the girls soccer team got some DoorDash here. You gotta love today's technology.
Yep.
You know, you could be at the beach, you could be wherever. You could have food delivered to you anywhere. It's awesome.
It is great. It's a little, you know, sometimes I gotta delete the app off my phone. Sometimes it's a bad idea for me, but.
I was talking to a TVL coach last week, not Westwood, and he was telling me he had a kid during tryouts who ordered DoorDash in the middle of tryouts, and he said he appreciated it. He thought it was funny, but he also said, "You're not on the team."
Yeah,
you know, so.
yeah.
And you know, but it was, you know, just when you think you've seen it all, there's something else to see. So Ansh Sataraju set up with a goal kick. It looks like Butner's going to take it. That's a low-flighted, hard kick by Butner. Nice line drive. Able to get the steal there. He's walking away on the outside, has some speed. He's got some room ahead of him. Gonna take it. He's a man on a mission. He looked like he was gonna put one in the back of the net on that corner kick, and he's staying up on the plate too. I'd love to see it. Definitely adds a little bit of a different look on the offense that helps a nice spark.
I was gonna say, he turned the field pretty quickly. That was shades of Ryan Pizzuto there.
Yes. McGuire looking inside. He's looking on the back post. That's going to get through. Stays on the field, though. Westwood forcing Norwood to play it. Just going to be kicked off Westwood player and going to be a Norwood throw.
And, you know, one of the things, too, I've noticed here in the past couple minutes since that goal, Westwood's starting to play a little more aggressive, a little more fast, but the thing you don't want to do here is you don't want that to turn into panic. You know, there's still plenty of time to get opportunities, and you've been playing solid offensively all day. You don't want to panic, but you do need to, you know, up the aggression. I do like it.
Ferreira, we saw him score a goal versus Norwood last year when it was a tie game late from the outside. That is someone to keep an eye out for as well.
30 yards too, so
yeah.
See if he has
left
any.
foot, the golden left foot. McGuire, the header, it goes out. Got a great crowd here tonight, as we mentioned.
Well, they're going to be in for a treat here too. I think we're going to have one of those games that we're going to remember for a while here. You know, this is going to be. I think this is going to come down to the wire, but we're going to have a classic nonetheless.
Work the middle.
I've got a feeling that someone on Westwood is going to break that tie with a big goal, and it's probably going to be a senior when you look at the statistics. But they got to go out and execute it. You got 23 minutes and counting. The tying goal is behind you. You know, it's no one's fault. It's just that's soccer. Some bad luck here and there.
And, you know, we didn't do keys to the game, but one of the things I would have mentioned too, that I had kind of planned and thought of, was mentality. I think the big key when you're playing a game like this, or a rivalry game, is your mentality.
Ferreira, he gets tackled from behind, but able to get a foot on the Norwood player to knock that out of bounds, not allow him to advance it. Going to force a throw in.
Some substitutions now, but mentioning that, you know, mentality is the big thing. You know, how do you respond? One, you're playing a rival. You know, that is on your mind here in the game. And number two, like, how do you respond to adversity? You're going to see it in this game. We're seeing it right now. This is a great test for Westwood to see how you respond mentally early on in the season.
It's going to be a corner kick for Norwood. Nope, and it's going to be a goal kick. So a goal kick. Butner kicked the last one. See what they do here. Yep, they're going to just pass it up the far side. They advance it up. Stamatakos makes some nifty moves. He's working through a couple guys in traffic. Sends it up to Sataraju. That goes out of bounds. Ball on the far side. Both teams trying to work through traffic. Westwood coming away with it. Shot on net and a save by Campbell. Jacob Daly with a left foot on that shot. It's a good look. Saved by Campbell again. Campbell's got ice in his veins. Now we feel a little bit of a wind, which is always a factor, especially when you see kicks from the outside. They can catch that tailwind and carry a bit of a distance. Ferreira fighting through. Gets through one. Looking for space. The right shot. Save by Campbell. That was his off foot, but an equally impressive shot by Ferreira on probably Westwood's best look so far the second half. Westwood hungry as ever, looking to get that next one. Break the lead. We're tied 1-1. 20 minutes, 18 seconds and counting. The battle on the far side. Sataraju gets a hand on it. Norwood player gets a shot off it, but saved by Butner. And Butner kicks it out.
What a play by Butner there. He had 2 saves for the goalie while the goalie was on the ground, and he's flipped the field.
Westwood with the ball and momentum. They got the fans on their side after that beautiful play by Butner, and I believe they earned a corner. They did. So in a matter of 15 seconds, they go from big defensive play by Butner, who's now going to work his way up in the corner area, to a corner kick.
That's not going to go on the stat sheet. Oh, they're going to say it's a goal for...
I think, no, they're allowing
substitution,
subs.
thank you.
So Chalengua coming back out. Sataraju, Avik Sataraju going to get a breather. But Butner's in there. So, I mean, how all world would that be if you make that play and then you get a big goal here on the corner? Nikolakos on the kick. Gets through. Played by Nikolakos and then kicked out by Norwood. Chalengua going to settle.
That's not going to show up on the stat sheet, but that was a top 10 play nominee there for Butner right there. What a 2 big saves in the clutch, because Norwood, if Butner's not there, Norwood has that goal, and it's a 2-1 game for them, and they're in the lead, and they're in the driver's seat. So a big save for Butner there.
Throw by Norwood. Gets past the initial players. This is where the game, part of the game matters with the battles. 50-50 battles. Ferreira comes away with it. He's looking to create some space. He's got 3 players closing in on him. The ball goes out. Well, stays with Westwood.
Norwood knows what Ferreira can do, and they respect him as a team. You can tell by their play. They're putting 2-3 guys on him. They know he's the guy for Westwood who can shoot from anywhere.
Yeah.
So it's smart. It's smart coaching by Coach Warren for Norwood. You know, they're trying to take him out. That's what they've been doing all game, and it's working for them. But give credit to Ferreira too. I mean, we've seen him, you know, break out of 2 or 3 guys who are on him. He can do it. He still can do it. So
it doesn't matter. We saw it in Bill Rickey. He had 3 guys on him, but that's a timeout called on the field. Take a quick break here. You're watching Westwood Media Center coverage of Westwood Boys Soccer.
Nothing in sports happens without commitment. You have to commit to prepare. You have to commit to compete. And when the game is on the line, you have to commit to making a decision and trust your preparation. The same is true when it comes to orthodontics. When you commit to improving your smile, you're making a commitment to a better life. Your mouth is the front door to your health. And who doesn't love showing off a beautiful smile when you're celebrating with friends and teammates? Arch Orthodontics is committed to you and being part of creating an even better you. When you're ready to commit, you know who to call.
Westwood High School Sports brought to you by Arch Orthodontics, creating generations of beautiful smiles with expert orthodontic care. And Neroli Ristorante, authentically Italian.
We have got an update here, Evan. Our friend of the program, and a very talented chef, Jaden Pillard, has made his college decision to take his talents to Colby College, where he will be a student athlete at the next level. So a fantastic decision by Jaden. Be joining AJ Alex, in school, but Jaden will be part of the track and field team. And Westwood right back to work.
Congrats to Jaden and going to Waterville, Maine.
Yes.
Gotta give a shout out. I have a couple friends living in Waterville. Went to the other college in town, Thomas. That's a bit of a rivalry, so he's choosing the other rivalry. But
we got a little bit of a Den presence right now, Evan. Let's go Westwood chant.
Love to see it. Love to see the Den out early and for Westwood and loud. That's what you need right now. You need that home field advantage. Westwood's starting to step up their game here. You need a little bit of that crowd noise to help you out. So I want to see the Den get a little louder here.
Yeah.
We know this field can get loud, and we know
got a feel of that Bill Ricka game.
Yeah. We know a lot of these places can get loud. We're going to do volleyball tomorrow night, and that is one of the loudest we do. So, we know what the Den's capable of. We need to see. I'm sure this place will erupt if Westwood can make something happen here.
Galakos looking for Tadeusz there, but Stamatakos with a look and a one-hopper save by Campbell. A little spinorama there by Stamatakos. Got a nice shot on net. 16 minutes, 38 left in the game-ish. Consider the 5-minute stoppage. But they want to get it a goal in regulation here. Daly was looking to wire there.
We just mentioned Stamatakos. We haven't mentioned him too much tonight, but quite an impressive start to his year. We saw him playing as a freshman last year, and he had a great freshman season. He's the youngest player on this team on the field right now. A sophomore for Westwood and getting meaningful varsity minutes. He's a big player.
Ferrero with a shot, rebound, out, and then saved by Campbell.
Save.
That was a great shot that caused a rebound by Ferreira. Westwood unable to convert, but a bullet.
Westwood was there too, and Campbell, I don't know how he came away with that. Campbell is one of the top goalkeepers in the TVL, I think we can say with pretty confidence. He's having an amazing game, and if he keeps playing like that, Norwood's going to be competing.
Tadeusz, far side, he's got some speed, finds Chalango on the outside, he's got space. Looks inside, pass to McGuire, off the crossbar! That was about as close as a look as you'll see, right off the crossbar. And the Wolverines gonna send in a couple new players as well. We got Setaraju and Owen Rezik back out there. Wolverines back, getting the possession. Ferreira got two players on him, doesn't matter. Three players, still holds it. Outside, looking to shoot, that gets blocked. I've seen countless goals where three on him, and then you don't know if there's space, finds a window, and finds it in the back of the net. So I'm telling you, he might be the guy that's going to get it done.
And, that would kind of also be kind of full circle, too. We, last year in the live game we covered at Norwood here at Play Hive, Ferreira got the game winner in a 1-0 game. So, he's the one who scored in this game. So, Norwood knows this is the guy that they need to keep their eye on.
Oh, they
keep
do.
Fighting for.
Yeah. He's got some friends on the team, and he said it was fun when he had that game winner. He certainly did a victory lap with his friends after it. But that's what makes these crosstown rivalries fun. Got a lot of familiar faces on both teams.
See it a lot in the Dedham games, too.
Slide tackle there on the far end. That was Butner. He has been all world tonight. What an addition to this squad.
He's made his impact known early on here in the season, and especially big defensively. He had that big play, saved the games, but he's also had some great plays just defensively, getting the ball out of the zone, flipping the fields. We saw him turn the Jets on and go down the field quickly. So, he's making his presence early, and that's kind of what we're looking for with these teams. We mentioned in the preview, there's some guys on this team that we don't really know who we're going to find. Butner's been one of those for the boys soccer team.
D there by Tadeusz. Got help from Cochran. Stamatakos sends it upfield. Cross. It's going to be foul. They're going to stop the clock here, and I believe we're going to get a card here. We're going to get a card here, so Evan, let's pin on the official.
Yep, and it looks like
we're going to get a yellow, I believe.
Yep, and we are, and that's going to be on number 8 for Norwood.
So I think he has to come off the field. Yep, someone will come on. But that was a dangerous play.
Yep. Well, that's the thing,
and
too.
that stopped the clock, so that's key because that's not going to impact, the extra time. But something I learned from Andres is when he said you see that, they typically see it after the goals, but that X that is made by the official is the stoppage. So Westwood, and who knows, that could be a key player that's off the field for a bit. Nice pass inside the box from about 50 yards out by Butner.
Well, the thing too is these teams are playing aggressive here, so I think you're going to see the refs start to maybe, in crunch time, if you're playing.
Pereira cutting through, looking for space, just misses wide right. Not much there. He was trying to force something inside.
And they're saying it's a corner, Morgan.
Oh, wow, so caught a piece. And he's going to get the den.
The den is getting loud.
And the parents, they got some cowbells out here as well. Love to see it.
Still have a couple cowbells from football last year on my desk.
Mikalakos on the kick. Header off the crossbar. We've seen about 2 or 3 headers off the crossbar. But another good kick by Mikalakos. That is definitely a big part of their offense is these corners.
But like I was saying before that sequence, the big thing the refs are going to want to do here too is they don't want to let this game get out of hand. These teams are going to get aggressive. They're going to start to play a little more physical. You're going to see it here in the last 11 or so minutes. So they don't want this game to be decided off a play that, is going to have something to add. So, I don't mind that call there. You got to tell them, hey, settle down. We want you to play cleanly, but we also, we don't mind you playing aggressive. I think you're still going to see the aggression here. These are two teams that really want this win. So
Nikolakos sends it outside. Chalangwa, he's got a couple players on him. Some good defense by Norwood. Goes out of bounds, going to be Norwood ball. 10 minutes, 56 remaining. Westwood looking for a hero to break this tie at 1-1. Pereira scored the goal in the first half. Norwood got a goal outside the 50 on I believe either a deflected ball or a knuckler to tie it up 1-1. Norwood looking to get a good look.
Oh, that just gets out of bounds off of him.
Cochran going to pick it up. Quick throw.
Big break for Westwood there because Norwood's been starting to get that offensive pressure on him and starting to get good opportunities.
Ball bounces to the middle. Butner jumps up. Oh, what a play. Able to turn that ball on a dime. And what a difference that was. Satarazu chasing it down. Keeps it in. And then kicked out of bounds by Norwood. Westwood looking to just quick play it. They do. Throw in gets by Ferreira. Tadeusz on the backup. And Butner with it. He can certainly boot it from the outside. Looked at it for a second. Pass it inside, gets through. That looks like it hit a Norwood player, but the goaltender going to come out and ensure that it's not a corner kick. Smart play. I think the Wolverines got to use their size. around the net. Being able to go up and get it, or to go up and just kind of almost like, where a basketball player right under the hoop, where they catch, shot, catch, settle it, shot, using that frame in the paint. Turnover, Westwood gets it.
It's worked for Westwood too. I mean, right there even. Westwood turns it over using that physicality, and they're going to, and that's out of bounds on.
Force a kick out.
Norwood, they're right back at it, but you see him using that speed and that size,
Ezek hands it off to Ferreira, goes through a couple, still got it. Looking to kick it lefty, and that is off the leg of a Norwood player. It's tracking its way out of bounds. I believe it's going to stay with Westwood. It's a question of whether or not it would go out the end line, and it's going to be a Norwood throw. So it went off a Westwood player apparently. 8 minutes, 24 remaining.
They're getting those opportunities. It's just a matter of capitalizing now. Can you find, when you get Ferreira, he can make 2 or 3 guys miss, and that's really what you want here for Westwood. Can you get it to Ferreira, and can he keep working his magic?
Cochran, Nikolakos, he chips it in. There we go. Ferreira's got some space. He knew he was going to look to shoot there. We've seen that range. A shot outside, saved by Campbell. And with all this pressure, we mentioned this during the girls' game, I'd imagine Campbell's going to take his time here, let some clock tick off.
Yeah.
Because it's been all Westwood last 10 minutes.
Yeah, smart soccer, too. Let the clock tick. Let the clock tick. And smart play by Butler there, not getting the head on it, actually having the awareness to just miss that. And that goes to Westwood. But, yeah, just, take your time if you're Norwood. You are you have the momentum a bit still, and your defense is starting to step up big. And, for either of these teams, I mean, you don't want to come out of here with a tie. You'd like to win the game, but for Norwood, they were looking at a loss, and for the majority of this game, they were looking at a loss. So coming out with a tie, or even keeping the pressure on, and maybe capitalizing on the Westwood mistake and coming out of here with a win is big for them.
Sadaraju with a nice settle. He's looking for space. Shot. That gets deflected. Head towards the net. Goes just wide, but the Wolverines going to get a corner.
We almost had an own goal there. That was so close.
Campbell, not the biggest player, so you look at the top of the net on some of those shots. He's a kid who's athletic enough to go up and get it.
It was just deflected off a Norwood player too, and it actually caught him off guard, but he just missed.
Nikolakos, low kick. Westwood in the back of the net. Trevor Ferreira.
Who else?
His second on the spot. It was a lower kick, and he was able to find it, gets the foot on it, gets the back of the net. Crucial goal to go up 2-1.
Westwood goal scored by number 7, Trevor Ferreira. Assisted by Alexei Nikolakos. Second goal of the game for Trevor, 3rd goal on the season. 2nd assist for Alexei.
On the off foot, no less. A right foot finish there. He tracked down that low flighted corner, which is great. The team's expecting a deep corner kick. He got right to it and angled it.
And Morgan Proudfather Miguel just ran up here. He is fast. He is quick with it too. So, but who else but Trevor Ferreira? This is what he does, folks. This is what you should expect to see all season. And what a clutch play by a clutch player for Westwood.
He is mini Ronaldo. He's got the look. He's got the height, the left foot. You throw a little gel in that hair too, a little style. He's got the game. Now Westwood, with 5 minutes remaining, looking to close out the game.
Well, now it's about defense.
Challenges in the Holliston game, and looking to answer the test here. Opportunity in front of them to build confidence on that, which was a challenge the other night. So the ball goes out across the goal line. We say out on Norwood, going to be a Westwood ball.
And the thing too for Westwood now is it's You don't want to make any mistakes here. You need to play solid soccer. Go back to the fundamentals. Try to slow the game down and control the game. If you can control the game, you can slow it down and you can run that clock out. And that's the big thing here. Can you keep that offensive pressure on, you know?
Well, the thing, too, you got to play smart. So Westwood has been dominant. They've been dominant with the ball, and they have let a couple opportunities happen from just a couple mistakes. So no mistakes here. 5 minutes have stopped. Stoppage time. The rest of the game is on the official's whistle.
You know, that's what Coach Mitchell's going to want to see. He wants to see fundamental, solid soccer. He wants to see good play. He doesn't want to see them panicking. He wants to see them calm down, slow the game down, let it come to them, and maybe make something happen here. You know, Westwood has been keeping that offensive pressure on, and they're still moving. They could make something happen from Chilango's kick, but it's just going to go out of bounds.
Yeah, just flipping the field. Like when that ball's down and you're deep in your end, just sending it down the other end. You know, that's 45 seconds apiece of just tracking it down and trying to kill clock. As we've mentioned in many broadcasts, no one's got to beat Westwood and the clock right now. Playing two opponents when it's late in the game and you're down by a goal. Ferreira, he's got the look of looking to get one more shot on net. Go for the hat trick. He's got 3 goals on the season so far this year. Great start for the senior captain. Asked head coach Josh Mitchell, I said, Trevor, he's got to be one of the most talented goal scorers in the league. And he said, without question. And it was basically without question, he is the guy. Not one of, but he is the guy.
You love to see Coach Mitchell, too, hyping his guys up. He's just inherited this team, but, you know, it's great to see him and what he's done so far. He's had a great start so far to the season, and, you know, he's inheriting a great team, too. This is a really solid, sound team of soccer. They play really good fundamental soccer. They're exciting to watch. They make it exciting to watch. And, you know, right now Westwood's starting to slow the game down. You're seeing it right here. They're controlling the game. They're playing basically a game of keep away and hot potato. And that's...
They're not going to be... You gotta go out and get wins all types of different ways.
Right.
Some are the 5-0 wins. Some are the 1-goal wins. Some are the late goal wins. But all of those are part of your season's story.
Yeah.
And what you take to chase down a TVL title or a deep run in the playoffs. Westwood's goal, it's not just make the playoffs. It's not just get a home game. They want to be inside the top 8. And that is a great goal to have because you earn 2 home games if you can win that first round of 16 or the round of 32 to get into the round of 16. And if you can get in the top 4, I think you get 3.
Yeah.
So you know that's something you definitely want to earn. You got to beat the big. You got to beat the TVL large big teams because those are the ones that carry the points.
Yeah. And this is one of those games that's gonna matter for Westwood. It's gonna be meaningful for Westwood to get a win here. You know, you keep building that lead in the TVL large. You know, all these games matter. They're just as important, no matter who you're playing. So it's important to win games like this and see if you can win games like this. So,
especially early on, get that momentum going. Send a message to other TVL teams. You know, they're all looking at the schedule. They're trying to see who's matching up against who's getting it done versus who. It's human instinct to say, how did Medfield do today versus Norwood? How did Norwood do today versus Westwood?
I mean, we track it all the time too. You know, we keep an eye on it. We keep a we you know, we're big homers. We love Westwood, and I don't know if you could tell, but you know, we like the TVL. We like following along and seeing the storylines, not just in the TVL large either, but the small. Hey, the small has some great teams. Don't let them kid you. Dover Sherborne.
They are. They're a state championship favorite in the Division III ranks. I think they're falling D3.
And they had us to come off a state championship last year. So, you know. We like to see all these TVL teams and see who we're playing and see how they stack up. You know, and there's plenty of talent, no matter small or large, whatever team you are. Any one of these teams on any given day in the TVL can win. And I think that's what makes it really enjoyable.
Westwood going to have a throw. Doing a good job keeping it down. Ferreira with the shot. Oh, goes wide right. I told you he had at least another look in him. and he had Resnick right by the net just to help out if he could get a foot on it to change direction.
You know,
That's a big play because it's going to take time off the clock.
and we're in stoppage time now, so now every second that ticks is adding and adding more. So if you're Norwood, you know, you're going to start to get a little more aggressive, and you have
And that's
it.
going to do it. Wolverines victorious on opening night at home to go 2-0 on the season, 2-0 in the TVL Large, and you can tell they're fired up. Evan's got the camera on them celebrating with Anch Sataraju. And the story, Evan, Trevor Ferreira, 2 goals in each half, late. The second one late to put them up 2-1 in the last 10 minutes. And then Ethan Butner, what a game he had. Ethan Butner on defense. Didn't have his name, you know, on our calls last year from he was playing up, you know, club and whatnot. But what a difference maker he was, slamming the door on big plays, making sure that they kept the ball out of the net. You got to give a shout out to John Campbell. He was terrific at net for Norwood.
Absolutely.
He was terrific.
Yeah, what a start to the season for the Westwood boys. Getting a 2-0 start to the season. This is exactly how you want to start it if you're
Thanks
Coach
again
Mitchell.
to tonight's ball boys, Charlie Cochran, Miles Laramie.
And
Final score, Westwood Wolverines 2, Norwood Mustangs 1.
you know, for Ferreira, a great start to the season. This is exactly how you want to start your senior season. Get some momentum, but also earn a really hard-earned win. This was not an easy win by not an easy opponent, and we're going to see later on this season when Norwood meets up with Westwood again, this is going to be one of those games that we're going to be following even if we're not in Norwood. So
Might have to go out there and call it with the NCM team.
Might
Those are
have
always
to.
fun. But that is going to do it here from Flay High Field. Westwood victorious off of 2 goals by Trevor Ferreira. The second one to break the tie late in the second half in under 10 minutes. They close it out to go 2-0 on the season and 2-0 in the TVL. Thank you all for tuning in. Westwood Media Center coverage of Westwood Boys Soccer, folks. We'll see you all on the next one.